Hello all, good morning everyone and good evening. Welcome back to today's session and we will start today's session. Okay. So I want a quick confirmation from you if you are able to see my screen and my voice is audible.
Yes, it is.
Thank you so much. I'll just give you a brief quick overview of what happened yesterday and what we will do today. And yeah. So as part of yesterday, we have seen some of the Tricentis products, which along with Tosca, Tricentis has implemented. And so we have seen what are the different applications that Tosca supports, like it supports 160 plus. And we have also seen what are the different testing methodologies that Tosca will help us and what is Tricentis Tosca life cycle. And also we have just started with what is model-based test approach, how we are actually capturing this thing. So today we will go a little deeper on model-based test automation approach. And here it is an application. If you have to write script, this is how we write it. But if you have to write it, if we have to create the models, this is how we create a model. And we have seen requirements and we have seen some differences between Tosca and Selenium and also some advantages and disadvantages of Tosca. Yes, and coming back here, so today we will be seeing what is the architecture of Tosca. So this is called as architecture of Tosca, where the commander is commander being the major. I call it as hero of this Tricentis because commander is one which talks with the repository. It is the one which talks with the license server. It is the one which talks with executor, and it is one which communicates with the wizard also. Okay. And if you see in the Tosca commander, you have all these sections. So one is called test case section, other one is modules, next one is test case design, execution, and requirement. Okay. So all this happens inside this commander. And if you see in the executor, there you can see a small name called engines, and there are different engines, HTML, SAP, TCP, .NET and all. And this, when you run this executor, this engine will talk to your workspace or AUT. This is called SUT or AUT. That is called system under test or application under test. Okay. So what happens is when you run your test case, it inbuilt says, okay, boss, there's a job that is coming for you and you have to run it. This executor is responsible to check which engine to invoke. Is it HTML engine? Is it SAP application is what I'm using, or this is TCP application? This runs in the backend. No one knows about it, but when you just go simply run it and you see there are different engines that will come up. Okay, so based on your whatever you do, whatever the application that you scan, based on that, this engine will come into the picture. Okay, and Tosca Commander also talks with license server. So in terms of the licenses that we procure, okay, so if at all if your license is completed, so this license server will give a notice to the commander saying that this license is expired. Okay, and it also talks with the repository where we have all the databases, all everything saved of our Tosca commander. Okay, so that is how our architecture of Tosca goes, Tricentis Tosca goes. And now, so this is the first interview question they might ask you if you attend an interview. So what are the major components of Tosca? By seeing here, you can figure out the major components. So those are the ones that I have figured it out here. It is Tosca Commander, Executor. So Tosca Commander, Executor, Wizard, and repository. Okay, so these are the four components of Tosca that you can answer in your interview. Okay, so we'll see one by one what is what. Okay, so I've already given Tosca Commander is a user interface that enables users to design, maintain, and execute analyze test cases. This is the place where you design your test cases, where you start executing your test cases. Everything goes into the Tosca commander, and it is also called as a foundational component of the Tosca test suite, structured with various sections. Again, the requirements modules. Okay, so let me show you how this is. Okay, so this is a Tosca commander. So day in, day out, you will be opening your commander and you will be working on this particular component daily. And here, if you see on your home, there's a project. So this is a project that you have developed. So this is a project that I have created while I'm creating this particular workspace. And if you see, there are different components on this particular folder. Okay. So maybe it is execution, it is issues, it is modules, it is reporting, is it requirement, test case design, test cases, or test planning. Okay. So these are called, whatever you're seeing here. So these are called components folders. So component folders are nothing but it will help you to organize your workspace. Okay. So when you create a workspace, automatically these component folders will be created. Okay, so no need you to worry, I have to go and create each and every component. No, that is not like that. It will automatically be created. So once it is created, you have to go into the individual section and start doing it. Okay. So that is how this commander works. So this is a project. Under the project, you can see component folders. And first component will be starting and working is module section. Okay. So this is where we start with test case creation. And once the module is created, then we go start developing a test case. So once the test case is created, we can go and run in the execution section. So where we create all the execution list and everything. And then apart from that, if you have any other test data that you have to send it. Okay, so in that case, you can go and create your test case sheets in the test case section. So this test case design sheet is nothing but a similar one. However, you see your Excel sheet, the same Excel thing can be done here in the test case design sheet. So where you pass numerous amount of data. So that is all about test case design sheet and reporting. Here you can see all the different reports. Okay, so whatever the reports that you want, you can create them. You can circulate among your team, and if you have any issues that you have identified in your test case and execution list, and that has to come on your report, you can log it in your issues section, where you can simply create an issue, create a bug. Okay, so here you can give the defect name, you can give the ID, your priority and severity, type and description, you can give it. So this will be for your reference inside the Tosca. And configurations, if you have any specific configurations that you have to do for your project or for your particular folder, you can do all this. So you can do configurations for API, database, demo web shop, flood, test data service. Apart from that, you will also be allowed to create any other new configurations. Okay, so we will see what are configurations, defined, self-defined, and user-defined in the later stages of the class. Okay, and coming to the test case section, if you see my test case section, you can easily figure out. So I did not write even a single piece of code. It's all just, okay, it's all just, I just have given some business information on my test case value section. So with this, if I run it, it will automatically go out. Okay, so let me show you one quickly. So let Okay, I'll just run this folder so that you can understand how this works. And if you see, my result is here in the scratchbook, and I can see what all the things that have happened, and even on the screen I could see it. Okay, so this is how a basic test case can run, and we can utilize it. Okay, so this is all about Commander. And yes, I'll talk about this later. Let us talk about Executor first. Okay, so when I ran this particular test case, you might have observed at the bottom. So if you see here at the bottom, so this is the executor. Okay, so this gives you the information about where is your test case, how much time it will take. So what is the status of your test case? Finally, once the test case execution is completed, it is highlighted with green color. Okay, so that means your test case is passed and you are good to go with your next test case. Okay, so that is all about executor. So previously in the starting stages of your Tosca, this is how we could see the executor. And this executor is, you can also open it from this start all programs. You can see what is this executor and how is it. And wizard is also like when you try to map your objects, as I've told or I've been telling about, we have to capture what is present on the screen, right? When I click on this register, I have to click on this register. So I have to have this register saved somewhere in my Tosca. So we have to capture this register properties somewhere in Tosca. So to capture that, this wizard will help us. So we will see how this wizard will help us. And it can be only opened from Commander. It is not a standalone component, and we will see that. And repository is a place where we can store our test data, where we can store all the information regarding our workspace, all those things. So external repositories also can be integrated with this Tosca, like Oracle SQL Server, SQLite also. And TDM and TDS are two repositories, external repositories that you can get it through. And yeah, several. So if I'm team of 5 members, I can access this repo information simultaneously between all the people. Okay, it's not like I take hold of the repository and someone else is not able to do it. No, that is not like that. All the people who are working in a team can simultaneously work on this repository. Okay, so that is all about repository. And yeah, so let us start understanding more about Tosca. Okay, so what is Tosca is, so how we start with the basic thing, that is there are three basic things that you have to understand. One is scanning, other one is modules, the next one comes is test cases. So these are the three main elements that you have to understand. So as I've already told, if I have to click on the button, if I have to navigate from one page to other page, if I have to enter some value, I have to have this technical properties stored. So how do we do that? So what comes into the picture when I do a scan, all those things. Okay. So basically on your Tosca, so first we start with module section. Okay. Inside the module section, so you have to have your web application open at the backend. And here on your module section, right click, and there is an option for you to scan application. So as it is an HTML application that we are doing, we will go for application. So you just have to click on this. And here, if you see, this is a demo web shop. This is what I want to scan it. So I just have to click and scan it. So this is a basic view. So everyone will be seeing this view when you open it. So when I come here, I'm just selecting what all the elements that I need for my test case. Okay. When I go to advanced. Okay, so these are the components that I have selected. Okay, so if I click on this register, so if you see there are different properties of this register. Okay, so one is technical property, one is transition property, one is representation property. Okay, so someone has asked me how AI comes into the picture. Okay, so this is all happened because of AI. So AI, with the help of the presence of AI, Tosca could capture the properties, different properties of this register, which are developed while once the development is completed for this register. Okay, so maybe these are the components or these are the different things that developer has included while he has developed this particular register, and you can see all of them just by on your Xcan window. Okay, so we'll talk about what are these different properties. So technical properties are something with which you can find out the technicalities of this particular module. So I call it as a module attribute, because whatever I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to create a module, and these are the attributes that I'm incorporating inside my module. Okay, so if I come over each and every module attribute, these properties change from one thing to other thing. Okay. Okay. So if you click on the register, if you see there are different technical properties. One is class name, one is href, other one is ID, inner HTML, inner text, outer HTML, outer text, and there is a tag, title and visible inner text. Okay. So these are the different technical properties of my module attribute. So these are the properties of my module attribute. Okay. So if you see, the name is given in the visible inner text. Also in the inner text also it is given. Okay. So it depends upon each and every element. Sometimes not all the visible inner text and inner text will hold the same name. Okay. You have to see, you have to get hold of what all the different technical properties that are incorporated for each and every module. It is a best practice whenever you are trying to scan an application and get your attributes onto your module. So you have to just go through what all the different properties are given for this particular element. Okay. So these are some technical properties. So coming to the representation properties, how this register is being represented on this page. Okay. So if you see the control area, so they have given some X, Y coordinates and width and height. And also some of the thing is it visible on this particular page? Okay, so this register should be visible on this particular page. So there is a visible property called true and the label property called label. So here they have given a name for this. The name is represented as a label here. Is steerable. Is steerable is a property where you can steer this particular element with the help of click or something, any other mouse operations. Okay, so maybe right click, maybe left click, for any of the operation you can steer it. So that is why this is steerable is true. So and these are the properties that are already defined from your developer. Okay, so you are not changing it or you are not doing anything here. You are just trying to understand what are the different representation properties given for this register. Okay, and if you see enabled, okay, enabled is true. So that means it is enabled and we are able to click on this element. So that is why this is enabled and true. Focused is false. So focused is nothing but that is only element that is highlighted or something. So then they give the focused is true. So you have to get through all this representation and technical properties. Most of the time in Tosca, we don't go for transition element that is XPath because this might change and we only go for technical properties. Okay. So why we go for technical properties and all we will see slowly, but this is how you see it in the Xcan window. Okay. So this is called as Xcan window because you are trying to scan the elements of your web application onto this window and you are trying to grab each and every information of the element that you wanted. Okay, and you simply save it. So once I save it, here I get a message saying that module saved successfully, and the name is also given to us. I can simply close this, and now if I see, I could see this module being created here. Okay, so once the module is created, I just have to drag this and drop it onto my test case, where I have to click on this. I'll simply go select this and give the input test. So now if I run this, okay, let me drop it again. So, so you see my mouse being moved from here and it is clicking on register, right? So yeah, so this is as simple as how you create your test case. Okay. Understood, everyone? These are the basic steps that we start with. Okay, so this is called scanning, and we understood what is a module. Okay, so any questions still here? Okay, so as we are talking about modules, let me talk about modules in depth. Okay, so if you see now, whatever I have created, so this is for my application and I am using this application for my purpose. So I have created a module for myself. Okay. But Tricentis team, what they have done is they have identified few operations that are standard and that will happen all through the projects. Okay, so it might be SAP application, it might be any other mobile application or anything. There are some standard modules that are given from Tosca or Tricentis team. Okay, so this standard modules you will get it as part and parcel of your commander. When you open your project, you will get it, and this standard modules will help us to go through with the standard operations. Okay, so we will have a quick walkthrough of what are the different standard modules that we have as part of Tosca. We can also get few more added, but this is a standard structure that we get as part of our project, and we can explore more. Okay, so let us see the first standard module called DevOps automation tools, where there are basic window operations. Okay, so most of the time by seeing the name itself, you could understand what is happening with this particular module. Okay, so if you see this one, this will help you to take a screenshot. So so this will help you to take the screenshot. Here, if you see, you have to mention few variables, and what is the environment, what is the directory, and where this particular screenshot has to be saved with what file. Okay, and clipboard actions, there should be some clipboard activities. If you have to do it, you can give the value directly here. And debug send case. So if you have to send any information, or if you have to send or input any data, not with the help of mouse, but with the help of your keyboard operations, so then you have to give the caption and the key. Okay, so suppose if you have to click on enter on the keyboard, what I do, I just click on enter. So that command has to be passed as part of caption. And keys, you have to give what are the different keys that you have to send it. Then this T-box send keys will help you to input an operation from the keyboard. Okay, so that is what T-box send keys is. T-box window operation, if you have to open any window, close any window. If you have to adjust or minimize the window, so then you can make use of this T-box window operation. T-box save as. So everyone might have seen when I close a word or so pop-up that comes up, right? So this is a pop-up that is coming. What is that? Save your changes to the file. Okay. So this can be handled with the help of this save as module. Okay. So here you have to give what is the caption of that particular pop-up, what is a file path, what is a button. Is there any confirmation pop-up that will come after you click on this button? So all those things can simply be handled with the help of T-box save as. And again, this is T-box dialog box, not only the save button, but if you have any dialog box that is opening, you can simply give the caption here and you have to mention what is the button that you have to click and this will handle that pop-up. Okay. So this is a basic window operation. Buffer operation we will see while we are doing a practice session. And T-box evaluation tool is nothing but if you are evaluating any two expressions. Okay. If you have to understand one value is greater than or less than another value, as in such conditions, if you have to evaluate two things. So all the evaluation happens here in the T-box evaluation tool. Yeah. So coming to the file operations. So T-box image compare, T-box file existence, T-box file compare. So if you have to do any thing on your files, like if you have to compare two files, if you have to copy data from one file to other file, if you have to read or create some files, all those things can be handled just with all these file operation modules. And numeric operations, if you have to convert any of your thing to your decimal, so then this will help you to go along with it. So process operations, T-box start program. So sometimes there is a necessity that you have to kill all your sessions, the previous sessions. So if you have to kill all your sessions, so then in that scenario, you can use this T-box start program. So we will see how to use this T-box start program. So resource handling, so Selenium. So if you have to run your Selenium scripts, so there might be a situation where your project is already handled and developed some of the scripts in Selenium. And now client has come up asking you to start with your Tosca. So you have already set up a regression, everything from the Selenium. So if you have to run all your Selenium script, you can do it from Tosca with the help of this two modules. Timing, synchronization. Everyone has come across the synchronization concept in your automation journey. So if at all, if you have to sync your application time with your web browser time, so then these timing modules will help you. Okay. And this is T-box automation tools. So why am I go through all this? Because when you start with your practicals, you should have a basic understanding of what is what. Okay. So I'm just making you acquainted with all the things that before we start with the actual sessions. Okay. So if you see T-box extensions based on your engine. So in this particular architecture, if architecture you have seen, there are different engines, right? HTML, SAP, TCP.NET. How Tosca will know which engine based on what kind of module that you are picking. Based on this, Tosca will understand, okay, if I'm using HTML, I have to do an HTML, I have to invoke an HTML engine. If I am doing an API, I have to invoke an API engine. So that is how Tosca will understand. Okay. So if you have to do any mobile operation, so you can make use of all these modules that are already present. So if you have to open a mobile app, you can mobile it. If you have to install or uninstall a mobile application, you can do it from here. There's sometimes you have to set your device orientation. In that scenario, you can set it here. If you have to go and click on that mobile screen, you can use it with the help of click on screen. and you have to upload some files into your device, mobile device, you can make use of this functionality. So these are all predefined. You can simply drag it and drop it, and you can just start with your mobile testing. In the similar way, for SAP also, there are some standard modules that are given. You can make use of all these things if you have to go from one menu to another menu. So this is how you can navigate. If you have to send some status message, status bar. So this is how your status bar is. So if you have to get that message from that status bar, you can get it from here. SAP toolbar, if there are different buttons, enter, save, everything. Most of SAP application, people might have seen all these buttons. So in that scenario, you can make use of this SAP toolbar and preview. So there will be different menus like this. So if you have to navigate from one menu to another menu, there is no need for you to go and scan it. You can make use of this menu already created, and you can make use of this and you can start automating. So this is how our life has become easy with the help of standard modules that are given from Tosca. Yeah, and coming to test data management, we will be seeing all these modules, how to create it, how to update it, all those things as part of our course content. And also apart from this, we also have some more test data management as a legacy application. So we will see the difference between legacy modules and the modules that you're seeing without a line. Okay, we will see the difference. But for now, you have to understand there are some standard modules. If at all, if you're starting something in your project, first go see in the standard modules, search in the standard modules if there anything that you can apply or implicate to your particular test case. Okay. So if that is the case, so 99% of the time you have to check if you are able, if you are okay using any of the standard modules. Okay, most of the time we must rely on the standard modules. Only if there is no standard modules that is used for your application, you can go ahead and you can use your user defined modules. Okay, that is how you can go and use your user defined modules. So the modules that you create for your application are called user defined modules. Okay. So we'll be creating more and more user-defined modules for our applications in coming classes. This is how you have to understand the user-defined modules. So any questions here?
No.
Okay. So don't get panic or don't get into a mode where you're not understanding anything. It's okay. We will see everything again in the classes. So when we start with our practical sessions, right, you will understand everything very clearly. Okay. So now it might be a little hard for you to get through everything. We will sit together and we will understand what is what. Okay. Yeah. There was some question. Someone was talking.
Yes, I have a question regarding the registration scenario which we already saw. So there, the values were already populated. So my question is just that it is used only for I mean static values, or we can also consider it for dynamic, that is data addition
We
also.
can, yes, we can use for dynamic. That is only a small example where it is showcasing a static value, but we can use for dynamic also.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, then what is the next? So now you have understood what is modules. Now we have to also understand what are the different, how this Tosca tool is. Okay, so what is displayed on which tab? Okay, so this is very important because when we are doing our practicals, you will be sharing your screen to me and I will be asking you, please go on to hierarchical view, please go on to the tabs. So you should also have this knowledge. Okay, so here if you see on the right, so on the left side, So this is called as hierarchical view, and the middle one can be called as a working pane or a detailed view. And the tabs that you're seeing on the top are called test tabs. Okay. So whenever you share your screen, I'll be asking you, please go to a tree view or detailed view or a status bar or a properties pane. You should get acquainted to this. Okay. So whatever you see on the top is a main menu. So I'll show you. So this is the main menu where you can navigate from project, home, view, tools, modules, and API testing. Okay, so you can navigate from one to other. And here is the title bar where it will show you the what is a project, where is it stored, what is a commander, what is a workspace name, everything. You can see it here in the top. And so yeah, these are the different tabs that you see: test case tab, modules tab, requirements tab, execution tab, issues tab, and all. And this is very, very important for you to understand. So this is detailed view, okay? And this is a properties view. So you have to click on this button. Only then you will be able to see this properties view, okay? Yeah, Lopamudra, you have some question?
Yeah, hi Mansa. The screen which you were showing, right? I mean the slide. So once we install Tosca, then automatically all these modules, I mean the tabs, that modules, requirements, test case design, everything will get created automatically, or do we need to create the folders kind?
Yeah, that is what I told. Yeah, it will be created automatically. You don't need to worry about it.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so this is very, very important. You have to click on this white button. Okay, so only if you click here, you see the properties. Of what properties you can see is the properties which you are navigating from one to other. So if you see demo web shop register, so you might have seen some of these properties on your Xcan window, right? So those are some of the properties that you can see it here as part of this module. If you want to change it, if you want to add any property, we can add a property here. So this is a properties pane. So whenever I talk about properties pane, you have to understand that you have to go to your right side of your this Tosca commander, and you have to click on this white button and you have to go to this properties pane. Okay. So this is a properties pane. And one good habit or one good thing that you can do is this is a working pane. So if at all, if you want to see the hierarchy, what all the things that are there for this module, you can just navigate through here. But if you want to see each and individual element, so you have to click and see it here. Okay. So here you get a detailed view, and here is where we start working on it. So make it a habit. So once you get hold of your Tosca commander, make it a habit. So you navigate from one module attribute to other module attribute. Everything should be shown here. Okay. So this is called as detailed view. And other one is a status bar. So status bar is nothing but here you will understand what is happening with what. So if I run something, here the status is automatically updated that it is running in the scratchbook and there's something that is happening and it is ready for the run. All those things, you can see it as part of this status bar. It might look simple, but when you start with it, it will little hard for you to understand. Okay.
Mansur,
Yeah, please tell me.
in the property window, the boxes
Yeah.
are there. Some are green color and some are different color. Just you shown that. So what's the meaning of that here in the
This one
extreme
you're
right? Yeah.
talking. Yeah. So we will talk about this. Okay. So there are
Okay.
different configuration parameters, different properties. Okay. So some are steering parameters, some are configurations, some are other things that are given from Tosca. Okay. So these are the
Okay.
different things that we see it while we do our practicals. Okay.
Sure. Sure.
So,
Thank
yes.
Yeah, so from the tree view, the test case which you ran, was it picked standard module or it's ran by its own?
No, it will not scan by its own. You should be responsible for scanning, and this is what I have created for my application. This is demo web shop. Okay, and this is called user defined. So standard modules will be given under standard module section, and you cannot change anything on the standard modules. Okay, you cannot modify any of your standard modules. Okay, but user defined modules, you can go change it. If you want to delete it, you can delete it, or if you want to add something, you can add it. All those things can happen in the user defined modules.
The test case which you scanned and ran now, just now, right? So was
Yeah,
it picked user defined or standard?
it is user defined. I have created.
Ah, okay. Hmm. Okay.
Okay.
Hi, Mansa. So, in
Yeah.
case
Hello.
if you want to use standard models into our demo workshop, how do you use it now? Like,
Simple drag and drop. Okay. So now I'll show you. If you have to open a URL, okay. So in the basic window operations, in the HTML operations, T-box extensions, HTML. So there's an open URL. You just have to drag it, drop it onto your test case. Yeah, and give this URL here. You can use it. Okay, so everything in Tosca is drag and drop. Other thing you have to get acquainted is to drag it and drop it, to drag it and drop it. Okay, so that is other thing that you have to get hold of. If you're not using a mouse, I would suggest at least for a few days try using it, because in the starting it will be hard for you to drag it and drop it. Okay, so yeah, on that note, I would also want to tell you this thing, how to rearrange your workspace. See, suppose I have closed everything accidentally and I have to get back all my tabs or the components you see. Okay, so you can click on this project on that. Okay, you can right click on this modules, and there is a plus symbol here which will help you to create a new window. Okay, so once you create a new window, you have to drag this and drop it just beside this thing. Okay. So if that is not the case, if you see in the middle, you might be seeing 4 windows and a one bigger window, right? So in the middle, are you seeing it? This one. This one, are you observing this? I'm highlighting it.
Yep.
Okay. So if you see, if you just want to put your project here beside this, you can simply drag this and drop it here. It will rearrange your project. Okay, so you can change the view of your Tosca commander also just by dragging and dropping. Okay, so if you don't want this, you can simply delete, close it. Again, if you want to rearrange it somewhere, okay, let me add reporting at the bottom. Okay, so you can play around with multiple components just by rearranging them here and there, so that you can see everything in one space. But ideally, I would be doing this way. So where I tab test cases, modules, and projects side by side, it is what I'm acquainted with. But if you want to change your view, you can always change your view just by dragging that tab onto the middle screen. You will be able to see it. Yes, I have some question, I believe. Okay. Okay, you can even change it like this. You can put this here and you can start playing around. Okay, so according to your convenience, how do you feel comfortable, you can go ahead and you can do it. Any questions on this? Okay. Okay, so let us talk about modules more and the scan window. Okay, so this is a basic window. If you see, you are getting an option to click on the controls on your application to add them. Okay. So in this basic window, what you can do is you can just navigate to your application, and you can, if you see, if I'm navigating from one particular attribute to another attribute, it is getting highlighted with blue color. Okay, so that means you can simply, okay, it is getting identified, and you have to just simply have a click on this, so it will get added here. Okay, so if I have to just click on it, it gets added in my Xcan window. Okay, so that is how you can do it on your basic window. So we will get, we'll get used to this basic window. So we will see what all the different things. So once you add this, you have to first save it here. So there is a save button here. You have to click on save and save it. And after you complete it, you just have to click on finish screen. That will help you to finish this scanning. Okay. And there's a condensed option where it will just condense your this scan window, and it will show you these two options. Here also you can go and click on it, and it will get added, and you will not be able to see in the condensed view is it getting added or not. So now if you want to go back to that screen, you have to just click on this basic, and you can see all those things added here. Okay. And apart from that, there is an advanced window. So we'll talk about advanced window in the later stages of the class. Okay, what is advanced, what all the things that are there. And once we are done with this, we can simply close it. Okay, so this is all you have to understand for our first basic module creation in the coming classes. Okay, so any questions on this note? Okay, so that is what I have planned for today. Okay, I have 5 more minutes. I want everyone's Tosca need to be installed. So only then I would be going forward, because whatever I tell now, it won't go into your head until and unless you get hold of your Tosca tool. So in the next class, we will be installing Tosca, and we'll start with Tosca installation. Okay. So any other questions, we can take it up. Otherwise, I'll give you back your 5 minutes, and we'll meet up in tomorrow's session where we start with Tosca installation and all.
So do you want
Hi,
to
Mansa.
suggest
Mansa, regarding Tosca, like the latest version 16, or like which one is the latest version we need to install?
Yeah, in the next coming class, we will see. I'll also tell you what are the latest version and what is the version that we'll be working on.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, there was one more question.
okay, should we wait until tomorrow, or you are going to share some document to try before getting to tomorrow's class?
No, we'll see everything in the class itself. Okay, after the class, I'll give you a document. Okay, but I want everyone to get understood how to install Tosca, how to extend your license. All those things will be explained in tomorrow's class.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mansa, what about the PPT you were sharing, right? So with that, I mean, anyhow, we will not going to get that, but any PDF or anything we will get. I mean, today is the second day, right? So till now, whatever we go
Yeah,
through.
actually, what I generally do is after I complete 3 to 5 classes, right? So after that, I'll share a PDF which has all the information that I've explained in the class. Okay.
Okay, no issue.
Don't worry, you'll get enough information from me, and you will be equipped with all the information from regarding Tosca.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. On that note, we can take a leave and have a very nice day ahead, and have a good evening also. We will meet up on tomorrow's session. Thank you so much for attending today's session. Have a very nice day. Bye-bye.